Kent MPs are staying tight-lipped as the government spun into disarray today when the Prime Minister announced the crucial vote on her Brexit deal would be called off for now. Parliament were due to decide tomorrow, but Theresa May dramatically declared that it wouldn't go ahead. With the very latest, Poppy Jeffrey is in Westminster for us now. So, Poppy, what's the latest?
Well, it has been a very, very interesting day here at Westminster. Obviously, this morning it started off with the European Court of Justice ruling that we could, in fact, stop Brexit in its tracks, revoking Article 50 without actually having to ask the other member states for permission. So that's quite interesting. And then Theresa May makes a statement at 3:30 saying the big vote we've all been waiting for has been called off. Now, it was due to take place tomorrow evening, but now it's been deferred to an as yet unknown date, and she faced heckles and even laughter in the chamber, faced questions as well from MPs when she announced this.
It is clear that while there is broad support for many of the key aspects of the deal, on one issue, the Northern Ireland backstop, there remains widespread and deep concern. As a result, if we went ahead and held the vote tomorrow, the deal would be rejected by a significant margin. We will therefore defer the vote scheduled for tomorrow and not proceed to divide the House at this time.
And what has the reaction been there in Westminster?
Yeah, so MPs in Kent have stayed quite tight-lipped, but Helen Whately for Faversham and Mid-Kent, as well as Damien Green for Ashford, have both said they support the Prime Minister in the Commons today. And now we are going to have to wait for that vote by MPs. And if she can't pass this deal through the House of Commons, there are a range of scenarios, including leaving the EU with no deal, going to another referendum, a leadership challenge, and lots and lots of different things have come out, even a general election or no Brexit. So it's very, very uncertain times indeed. But one man who's championed Brexit all the way through is Nigel Farage, who says he's fearing for the Prime Minister.
The price for dishonesty is that you lose respect, and she's been utterly dishonest with the British people all through this process. I have no feelings of sympathy for her whatsoever. Don't forget, the pound was 208 against the dollar in 2008. The fall since Brexit is tiny compared to the fall that happened before that. And right now, given the uncertainty, a weak pound actually overall is good for the country.
Well, this really is an unprecedented time. We obviously have never done this before, so no one particularly knows what's going on. Not even MPs, and definitely not the general public, some of them anyway. It's a very, very unprecedented time, and over the days and weeks, and how Prime Minister Theresa May handles this will really be something for the history books.
Thank you for that, Poppy. A story that's developing every minute. And to talk through more of this, as well as the repercussions, I'm now joined by Professor Tim Luckhurst from the University of Kent in the studio. Thanks for joining us. Tim, what happens next? We've heard just now what's been going on today. What happens the next few days and months?
Well, we were expecting a vote for weeks. The Prime Minister promised there would be one. Now there isn't. Nothing is certain. All that we know is that the Prime Minister is going to go back to the European Union, but not to renegotiate the deal. The European Union has made it quite clear that there is no possibility of renegotiating the deal. What she's going to do is look for reassurance on the Northern Ireland backstop, this great blockage, this great barrier which is preventing many of her own MPs from backing the deal, preventing her allies in the Democratic Unionist Party from supporting the deal. She's going to look for some sort of reassurance that the backstop could never be permanent. Whether she'll get that language or not, I don't know. It already looks as if the DUP, the Democratic Unionist Party, will not accept it, whatever the European Union says. They want treaty changes. They're not going to get them.
And how significant was this decision to postpone and defer, as she says, this vote that was due to happen tomorrow?
This is perhaps one of the most important decisions that Parliament has faced in the last 30 years. And today, the Prime Minister said it cannot make that decision. Well, one thing's for certain. The Parliament must vote on a Brexit deal before March 29th. The government has suggested that in order to make things work properly, Parliament will have to have that meaningful vote by January 21st at the latest. Could the Prime Minister delay it for that long? Well, let's just look at what's happening to the economy. The pound is currently worth less than it's been worth since April 2017. It's worth $1.26, €1.10 at the moment. The economic damage is already apparent. The longer this goes on, the more the appearance of chaos emerges, and the more likely it is that Britain will simply crash out with no deal at all.
And she says she's going back to the EU to talk about this backstop. Is it likely that she'll bring anything back that will satisfy people that are saying that's the problem?
I think it's highly unlikely. She might get some warm words, but she's not going to get a renegotiated deal. The deal is the only deal that the European Union will sanction. There simply isn't time to do a new one. So unless the House of Commons votes not to leave the European Union at all, and the other significant thing that's happened today is the European Court of Justice has said Britain could revoke Article 50 unilaterally. If it wants to stay in the European Union, that's fine. The problem is that means completely ignoring the outcome of the 2016 referendum. The Prime Minister says she's not prepared to do that. Both Labour and the Conservative Party said they wouldn't do that at the general election.
Absolutely, a story that's evolving as we speak, and I'm sure will be one we'll be touching upon once again very soon. Thank you for that, Tim.